everyone, welcome to another fun-filled lesson of Actual English with me, Jennifer Clyde. It is always a pleasure to have you joining me. It's time for lesson 11, and today we'll be focusing on sleep habits. Throughout the week, we'll take a look at all different kinds of habits we have, such as sleep habits, which is today's topic, eating habits, childhood habits, the habits that you've broken, or the childhood habits that you still have till this day, and much more. So, let's begin by talking about sleep or sleeping habits. What kind of habits do you have? Well, to tell you a bit about myself, I do not have insomnia. I tend to go to bed very late at night, and I am definitely not a morning person. I'm not an early bird, which means I tend to sleep until the late hours in the morning. And if I don't do so, I can't really function well during the day. So I can concentrate a lot more on everything I do during the day if I get at least 8 or 9 hours of sleep a day. So what are you like? Maybe about 2 years ago, I had a very bad habit. I could not go to bed unless I had ramyeon at night right before I went to bed, which is also a kind of sleep habit. So let's talk about all of this in today's lesson, and let's begin with our first segment. It's time for Actual Talk.
Oh gosh, Peter, you look more tired than usual. What's going on?
Yeah, I haven't got a lot of sleep lately.
Yeah?
To sleep, perchance to dream.
Why?
Well, having babies.
The babies, definitely.
Yeah.
Right. You're a bit of a night owl, aren't you?
Normally I'm a night owl,
Yeah.
but the kids like to get up very early.
Very early in the morning, so you help around the house, obviously. That's
I
good.
try to, yeah.
Any housework?
Sure, yeah. After they finally go to bed, then we start to make dinner and things like that and
that's
prepare
nice.
for their next day.
On the off chance you do get to go to bed, do you dream usually, do you think? I mean,
everybody
dreams.
dreams. I don't often remember my dreams.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only time I really remember them is when I take a nap in the afternoon, which is rare.
A siesta?
Yeah.
Very rare. I think 10-minute naps are good, but once it hits that 30-minute mark, I tend to get groggy when I get up.
Mm-hmm.
When I do dream, I tend to dream about riding fast cars and riding horses across fields and stuff. But I do want to dream about falling from the sky. Apparently, you get taller if you dream like that.
That would be nice.
That would be nice for me, definitely. I do
maybe
need to get taller.
Maybe you can control your dreams.
No, if I could, I'd love to. But yeah, I don't get to sleep much these days, so I've got too much work going on.
Do you have insomnia as well? Or?
I do. I have developed insomnia because of my sleeping habits. I don't get to bed at the same time each day.
Right.
Any recommendations for any good cures for insomnia?
There's always drugs, but other than that, yeah.
Any natural cures?
Some people say some warm milk,
Right.
or just getting some exercise during the day in sunlight will help you.
That's all good, but I think getting to bed at the same time each day would be the best.
Yeah. I can't wait to go to bed tonight.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everyone. Did you enjoy today's actual talk? Today's talk was between Peter and Joanne, and yes, they were talking about today's topic, which happens to be sleep or sleep habits. Now, what did Peter say? He did mention that he has been having difficulty getting a good night's sleep lately. That is, of course, obviously due to his little boys, his 2 little sons, and he wishes that he can really sleep well. They also talked about taking a nap or naps during the day, which is also called a siesta, and how Joanne wishes that she would dream a certain dream, which was to, fall from the sky or perhaps from a tall building, because she believes, or people say in Korea, that you grow taller if you have those kinds of dreams. They also talked about some cures or natural cures if you have insomnia. Possible ways to get a good night's sleep. So let's take a look at the dialogue line by line together. Now, of course, Joanne begins by saying, "Oh gosh, Peter, you look more tired than usual." Okay, so more tired is what she is pointing out. And she asks, what's going on, right? Now, Peter says, "I haven't got a lot of sleep lately." Now, the correct form would be, I haven't gotten a lot of sleep lately, which basically means he has not been sleeping well these days. He has not been getting enough sleep these days. And he says, to sleep, perchance to dream. Now, this is actually a speech. This is a very famous quote, as you may know, from the play Hamlet, where you may hear the to be or not to be speech. So this is what you will hear from that play. It basically, in the play, is talking about afterlife. Of course, sleep in that case in the play refers to death, and of course, perchance to dream is perhaps the dreams of a very dreamy afterlife. But in this case, he is saying, to sleep, perchance to dream. Basically, if only I could really sleep, I could dream. Okay, so he's hoping that he could really get a good night's sleep. And then he says, well, having babies, that's the problem. Joanne says, you're a bit of a night owl, aren't you? Now, what is a night owl? Okay, I think in Korean, an owl is an 올빼미, right? So night owl basically refers to a person that goes to bed very late at night. A night person, in other words. So if you go to bed early, you would not be a night owl. If you tend to go to bed, let's say at 12 o'clock in the morning or 1 or 2 in the morning, you're definitely a night owl. So anyhow, Joanne asks Peter, so you're a night owl, aren't you? What did he say? Normally, right? Normally, I'm a night owl, but the kids like to get up very early, okay? Now, to get up means to, of course, wake up in the morning, to get up early in the morning. And he says, after they finally, this is after, they finally go to bed, then we start to make dinner and prepare for the next day. So basically, Peter is talking about what happens after his kids, his children, his 2 little boys go to bed. Him and his wife, they make dinner and prepare for the next day. Now, Joanne says, that's nice. And then she says, on the off chance you get to go to bed, do you dream usually? Okay, so we'll be taking a look at off chance. Off chance basically means a slight chance, a very little chance, okay? So off chance. On the off chance you get to go to bed, do you dream usually? So Peter said, well, I don't often remember my dreams. I think we can all say this. You dream, I dream, we all dream, but many times we don't remember our dreams. And then he says, the only time I really remember them is when I take a nap in the afternoon, which is rare. Okay, so he's saying the only time I remember my dreams is perhaps when I take a nap in the afternoon, which is rare. Rare is the opposite of what? Often. So he's saying he does not take a nap very often, but when he does, he normally dreams and he remembers those dreams. Now, Joanne says, a siesta. Okay, so we've got the word siesta here. She's talking about a siesta. A siesta, you may have heard of it. It's basically a short rest or a nap that people take after a midday meal, perhaps. And then she says, I think a 10-minute nap or 10-minute naps are good. But once it hits that 30-minute mark, I tend to get groggy when I get up. Now, let me point this out to you. The underlined phrases or words means we'll be taking a look at those expressions in just a bit. And of course, words such as groggy, we'll take a look at the definition and definitely the pronunciation of the words. Anyhow, so they're talking about a siesta or a short nap during the day. And she says, I think 10-minute naps are good. But once it hits that 30-minute mark, once it becomes 30 minutes later, in other words, I tend to get groggy when I get up. Get up in this case is, that's right, wake up from your sleep. Groggy is kind of like a grouchy. So I'll give you some more examples in a bit. So she's basically saying After she takes a nap, she wakes up after perhaps 30 minutes later and she doesn't feel too good. Okay? Moving on. She says, when I do dream. Now, why is the D-O capitalized? I capitalized it for you because the way Joanne said it was, when I do dream. When I do dream. You are emphasizing it. You are stressing it. Okay? So when I do dream, I tend to dream about riding fast cars and riding horses across fields. But I want to dream about falling from the sky. She's talking about dreams that she usually has in general and a kind of dream that she hopes to dream. Okay, falling from the sky. Now, Peter says, maybe you can control your dreams. Not easy, but possibly. Now, Joanne says, if I could, I would love to. I'd love to. But I don't get to sleep much these days. So, say for example, you may be busy with a lot of work or even homework, and if you don't get enough sleep or as much sleep as usual, you can say, I don't get to sleep much these days, okay? And then she gives her reason. I've got too much work going on. I've got too much work to do these days, all right? And then let's move on and see what else they talk about. Peter says, do you have insomnia as well? Insomnia is basically a very hard, difficulty falling asleep. If you can't fall asleep at night, or if you fall asleep but you wake up very easily, you may have insomnia. It's difficulty falling asleep. 불면증, for example. And then she says, I have developed insomnia. Because of what? Because of my sleeping habits. Bad sleeping habits, yes, well, they are not very good for you. And she says, I don't get to bed at the same time each day. And then she asks, any recommendations for good natural cures for insomnia? So she's asking Peter, do you have any recommendations? Do you know of any cures that will help that will help me go to bed, okay? Cures for insomnia. And Peter says, some people say, this is what he's heard. So he says, well, I've heard, or some people say, warm milk, or just getting some exercise and sunlight during the day will help you. And then Rachel says, that's all good, but I think getting to bed at the same time each day would be the best. And of course, Peter agrees. He says, yeah, I can't wait to go to bed tonight. So it's true. He said that he has not been getting enough sleep these days, so he's really hoping to get a good night's sleep. All right, then, everyone, let's take a listen to the actual talk one more time.
Oh gosh, Peter, you look more tired than usual. What's going on?
Yeah, I haven't got a lot of sleep lately.
Yeah?
To sleep. Perchance to dream.
Why?
Well, having babies.
The babies, definitely, right? You're a bit of a night owl, aren't you?
Normally I'm a night owl,
Yeah.
but the kids like to get up very early.
Very early in the morning, so you help around the house, obviously. That's good.
I try to, yeah.
Any housework?
Sure, yeah. After they finally go to bed, then we start to make dinner and things like that and
that's
prepare
nice.
for their next day.
On the off chance you do get to go to bed, do you dream usually, do you think? I mean,
everybody
dreams.
dreams. I don't often remember my dreams. Mm-hmm. I think the only time I really remember them is when I take a nap in the afternoon, which is rare.
A siesta?
Yeah.
Very rare. I think 10-minute naps are good, but once it hits that 30-minute mark, I tend to get groggy when I get up. Mm-hmm. When I do dream, I tend to dream about riding fast cars and riding horses across fields and stuff. But I do want to dream about falling from the sky. Apparently, you get taller if you dream like that.
That would be nice.
That would be nice for me, definitely. I do
maybe
need to get taller.
Maybe you can control your dreams.
No, if I could, I'd love to. But yeah, I don't get to sleep much these days, so I've got too much work going on.
Do you have insomnia as well? Or?
I do. I have developed insomnia because of my sleeping habits. I don't get to bed at the same time each day.
Right.
Any recommendations for any good cures for insomnia?
There's always drugs, but other than that, yeah.
Any natural cures?
Some people say some warm milk.
Right.
or just getting some exercise during the day in sunlight will help you.
That's all good, but I think getting to sleep, getting to bed at the same time each day would be the best.
Yeah. I can't wait to go to bed tonight.
Yeah.
Now it's time for today's actual expressions. As I did mention, you have seen some words in our actual talk conversation which were marked in a different color, right? So we'll take a look at those words and also go over the pronunciation and then move on to some extra expressions you can make use of the next time you talk about today's topic, which happens to be sleep or sleeping habits. First of all, we did talk about siesta. A siesta is what? It's a rest or a short nap that people take in, for example, Spain or Latin America after a midday meal, perhaps sometime in the afternoon. Pronunciation is siesta, siesta. So it's more of a T-U-H, sound, siesta. One more time, siesta. Good job. And there was the word groggy, right? So the stress goes on the first syllable. It is groggy, groggy. Synonyms are sluggish, lethargic. Basically, it is a feeling of maybe weakness after you wake up. You feel sluggish, lethargic after a nap. You can say, I feel groggy. Another one is insomnia. We all know what insomnia is, but let's check out the pronunciation. The stress goes on som, so it's insomnia, insomnia. Okay, and another word for that word is sleeplessness. Okay, then let's move on to some expressions. There was off chance, remember? It meant a slight chance. Here is a sentence using off chance. The sun is shining. Okay, it's very sunny today, but take an umbrella with you on the off chance that it might rain. Okay, so just in case it rains, take an umbrella. There is a slight chance of rain, so take an umbrella with you. One more time. The sun is shining, but take an umbrella with you on the off chance that it might rain. Okay, another one. I got a new suit on the off chance of getting the job. So perhaps you went to a job interview and you think you might get the job. So you can say there is a slight chance of getting the job. So I got a new suit on the off chance, just in case, with a slight chance of getting the job. Okay. All right, let's move on and take a look at a so-and-so minute nap. Now, Rachel mentioned something about 30-minute naps, right? So here is a sample sentence. My mother often takes a 20-minute nap after lunch. Remember, you should always say a 20-minute, a 10-minute, a 5-minute nap. So a 20-minute nap. Another one, I would give anything for an hour nap right now. If you're really, really tired, you can say I would give anything for, remember, an hour nap. For example, let's change it to maybe half an hour. I would give anything for a 30-minute nap. So please do keep those in mind. Let's check out one more expression. Hit the something mark. Remember, after I hit the 30-minute mark, I tend to feel groggy, is what they mentioned in the dialogue. So, to hit the something mark means to reach a certain point or level. To help you understand, here is a sample sentence. Once my nap hits the 30-minute mark, I feel much better, which means once I take a nap for 30 minutes, 30 minutes later, I feel much better. Okay, and one more sample sentence. The temperature hit the 39 degrees centigrade mark this summer. It was unbearable. It was unbearably hot. Excuse me, that should have been a Y. So you can say, oh, it was unbearable or it was unbearably hot. So a certain temperature can reach a certain degree or a certain mark. You can also take a nap and hit a certain minute mark as well. So keep these expressions in mind and let's move on to our next segment.